What had happened was many, many years before, a man that I had collaborated with in the BMI workshop died. He was married to a woman who was a strict Catholic, but he was not a believer. So he had arranged his funeral through the Neptune Society. And when he died, his wife called me and she said, Bill had set this up, and there's only going to be my son and my daughter, myself, and one other friend, and you. He specifically wanted you on the boat with us when we scatter his ashes. I said, well, then I will definitely be there. So I did, and I was so impressed with how dignified the whole thing was and how unsentimental it was. And I thought, okay, that's for me. I went home that day. I called the Neptune Society. The guy came to my house. We talked. I paid him $1,000, and it's done. There's a card in my wallet. The minute I pop off, all anybody has to do is call that number, and it's all paid for. It's all done. Before Bill was ill, he said, I don't know what to do about, funeral arrangements. I said, well, I know what I did. And I told him about the Neptune Society. He said, that sounds terrific. He did the same thing. He called them and he bought it. When he was being treated at the City of Hope, and when it became hospice care, home hospice care, one of the things they said to me was, when he dies, call us first. Don't call the Neptune Society. Call us, and we will call the Neptune Society. I said, okay. Because he was in pain, and he said, I think I need the medicine. That was his term for it. And I got the little eyedropper. I gave it to him, and he went to sleep immediately. And a few hours later, I noticed that he was kind of thrashing, but he was asleep. So I got the eyedropper and gave him a little bit more, which is what the nurse had showed me to do. Just stick it between his lips and give it to him. And he calmed right down. And I fell asleep that Saturday night, listening to him breathe very regular and deep. Just, and it was very comforting, just fell asleep. Around 2:30, I woke up to silence, and I realized, oh, he's not breathing. So I checked, and indeed he had died, and I called the hospital, and 90 minutes later they were there, middle of the night. And it was a man in a black suit, right for his job, with an assistant who was just a young Hispanic kid dressed in jeans and a T-shirt, And they came in, and they had this portable gurney, and they wrapped him in his sheets and put him on the gurney and took him. And they came back with the paperwork and signed it. And the guy says, I'm sorry for your loss. And I said, thank you. And off they went. And that was the whole experience. And it was exactly what he wanted. A couple of weeks later, I invited some people and talked about him, talked about what he was like. And that was the end.